Winston Churchill drank an estimated 42,000 bottles of champagne in his lifetime. That's nearly 2 bottles daily. Britain's most famous prime minister started his morning with whiskey and water, which he called a mouthwash, followed by more drinks throughout the day. Despite being constantly buzzed, he led Britain through World War II, wrote 43 books, and won a Nobel Prize for Literature. The man was a master at tipsy diplomacy. During crucial war meetings with Roosevelt and Stalin, he'd outdrink everyone while staying sharp enough to negotiate. His doctor once asked him to cut back on drinking, to which Churchill replied, "I have taken more out of alcohol than alcohol has taken out of me." Even more wild, he survived multiple assassination attempts, painted over 500 canvases, and gave some of history's most iconic speeches while nursing a constant hangover. Talk about high-functioning. He lived to 90 and changed the course of world history between sips. Winston Churchill drank so much alcohol during World War II that the government had to create a special alcohol budget just for him. His daily routine started with whiskey for breakfast, champagne for lunch, and more whiskey until bed. But here's the crazy part. He never appeared drunk. He'd consume around 42,000 calories worth of alcohol yearly, but still ran a country through its darkest hour. He even invented his own cocktail called the Churchill Martini, just straight gin while looking at a bottle of vermouth across the room. During critical war meetings, he'd show up in his signature polka-dot robe with a cigar and a drink. Despite his heavy drinking, he lived to 90 and became one of history's greatest leaders. Sometimes the most successful people break all the rules. Winston Churchill secretly hired a body double during World War II who attended 20 public events. His name was Norman Shelley, and he was a BBC radio actor chosen for his uncanny vocal resemblance. Churchill used him for the most dangerous public appearances when intelligence suggested assassination attempts. The body double even gave 3 minor speeches, and no one ever caught on. Churchill was also heavily superstitious. He refused to travel on Friday the 13th and always carried a lucky spoon. Despite his tough image, he suffered from depression, which he called his black dog, and painted over 500 paintings to cope with it. He would regularly take 2-hour baths while dictating to his secretaries and drinking whiskey. During the London Blitz, he would climb onto rooftops to watch bombing raids, despite his security team begging him not to. The man who saved Britain was full of quirks we never learned about in history class.